think we're live.
We're live. What's up, Facebook? Give them a wave.
Hey,
So we got
hey.
two beautiful white women with us today. We got Mischief over here. And my special guest, the Rockstar herself, Leah from Montreal, Canada, Leah, there's a couple cool things that are pretty awesome about you that I think people are going to dig. Firstly, is that you help people the big bucks. And as we were kind of talking beforehand, you're like, somebody made $1 million following my advice. Why did I only charge them 10 grand? And
Yeah.
quick little story about you just before we get started. You were at our last live event in Toronto, and you stepped out for an hour, made $12,000, walked back in after your sales call and told no one, because you're awesome like that. You got your super humility.
Yeah.
And awesome streak of doing that in the world, or I think you said 4 in a row now. So you're making more than most people do in a year just with a couple of phone calls. So I think you got some pretty awesome wisdom to share. Let's start with, I guess, how did you do?
With what?
The magic mode. Well, tell us anything you want to tell about yourself and how you were able to kind of do this consistently.
Okay, cool. So how to close deals consistently? You
Whatever you want, just give us some notes.
Okay, all right, okay. So that was really cool because your mastermind rocked. So whoever was not there who's in this group has got to get their ass there next time Frankie hosts one. So how do I do what I do? I mean, like, I spend most of my time probably like you, Frankie, like connecting with people online. And any lead that comes in, well, I just talk to them like they're a friend, and I would totally like give advice to a struggling friend. And then we see like how we can work together, and it just makes it so easy. Easy to sign on new clients. The thing that I've noticed is that when I come to a call with zero expectations, like that's when the biggest deals come in.
Yeah.
It's like, I come to the call and I'm super honored. This is where like it kind of gets a little bit weird because, hey Rachel, this is where it kind of gets weird because I used to get on sales calls and feel like I was like, oh my God, I'm getting sweaty hands. I got to go eat a whole bag of potato chips because like, I can't deal with this shit. Like, I was just like, oh, get me out of here. Somebody else take the call. Like, I can't do this. And I realized that really what it's about is your attitude. So, yeah. I mean, how many people actually want to talk to you in a day, right? Like, so I come to the call more with the attitude that's like, well, you know what? I'm totally honored that this person wants to talk to me to solve their problem. How nuts is that? Like, that's super fun. So that's how I see it when I come to the call, and it just makes all the difference.
That's actually a really beautiful nugget, because what I find is if you take the average person selling anything, really, and we're all in sell job, you have to sell yourself at the job interview, and you got to sell yourself each day as a valuable employee, is usually when most people show up, and we mentioned this on the last live we did in your group, is that people show up kind of like our salesmen, like they're going to ram it down your throat. And so I think it's really awesome that even though you said that, that's a very big shift to show up like a friend who has no expectation, and to have humility where like you're grateful to the person who served them, even if you can't close them on a sale, right? Like even if it's not a fit and you don't want to do business with them, I think there's some real magic in that. So tell me, like, what are you doing? So obviously the theme of the group is money, freedom, fulfillment. Let's talk money. What are you doing to get money and help people overcome their beliefs? Don't leave me, miss.
So what am I doing to get money? So what I do really is I do tons of private coaching. And yeah, that's what I do. That's my specialty, is private coaching. Like, I can get to the bottom of something in like all 10 minutes. Yeah. And like, I can see right through somebody. I could just see through them. I could see all their blind spots. They just tell me like one sentence and I'm like, okay, This is the problem. And then in solving that, they're like, oh my God, I just like made a whole bunch of cash, right? Like just from like talking to you for this tiny amount of time. Let me talk to you again and again and again. And then they refer their friends. And that's how I get clients, really. I don't do a lot of like online marketing. I don't do, you know, people always talk about, you know, so in the Facebook Live that you just gave in my group, you know how you were saying, oh, people talk about blogging and doing this and doing that, and then just totally getting overwhelmed. Well, I just keep it really simple, really simple. I just connect with people daily, follow up with them, see how they're doing, see how past clients are doing. People send people my way all the time. That's how I make my money. And then how am I free? Well, I set my own schedule. Yeah. When I don't want to work, I don't work. My clients, I set them up so they're all, what?
How do you maintain like boundaries? Because that's a big thing for people who do one-on-one coaching is it can be real quick. If you don't set it up correctly, that where they can kind of own your soul and then you feel like you're working for somebody and you just have a high-paying job. But are you able to keep everything on your own terms?
That's an interesting question. Like, what do you mean own your soul? Because I don't see anybody.
Okay, well, I can tell you just personal experience I've had in the past.
It sounded like you had a problem.
See, I remember taking phone calls from clients some days, 6 a.m. till midnight every day. And so, you know, it was like a client's calling. I didn't feel like I had the ability to say no. Very strategically planning and structuring it so that you're proactive, so that you're doing it as it works for you. Like, how are you able to kind of, like, I guess if a client calls you in a panic, how are you able to kind of maintain those boundaries? Or is it people you choose so that you don't in the first place?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I established all of that like in the first 3 calls. Let's say they're doing like a 6-month to year-long program with me. Yeah. I'll let them know many times. So, you know, repetition is key to establish boundaries. I only take client calls twice a month. So 2 weeks, not twice a month, 2 weeks in the month. So 1 week on, 1 week off. Okay. And so, on those weeks on, I'm like, you know, back-to-back client calls. And if they have to reschedule, they're going to have to wait till I'm available, till the next week. And they know exactly when I work, exactly when I don't work. Like, I keep on telling them. Nobody calls me out of the blue. They don't have my phone number. I talk to them on Zoom. And if they need an emergency call, they have to message me, like, and I'll get back to them after 24 to 48 hours. I make it really, really clear.
That's, you know, that's one of those simple magical things you're doing that's, you know, super, super powerful where it may not sound a deal, and that's some real wisdom. So I think that's pretty beautiful. So what do you do? Like, what does freedom look like for you? Like, what do you like to do on your spare time in Montreal? I assume just eating poutine and going to strip shows like everybody else does in Montreal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. I do that every day.
Yes.
So so the reason why I went into this business is because I was working a corporate job. So like at the time it was 40 hours a week, and then I had a sideline business. Yeah, I know, right? You made the corporate looking face. We do it again, corporate. It's like a sour face, yeah. So I had a sideline business at the same time as a translation and communications agency, and I was working like 80 hours a week, literally. And I have kids, and I was like, there's no way, I'm not doing this anymore. There's no way. And I kept on asking myself, like, is there another way to do things? And it didn't seem like anyone in corporate had an answer. Yep. So I was like, I gotta get out of here, man. I gotta go talk to like other people that don't do this. And then I decided to become a coach because I thought, well, I could set my own hours. I could set my own rates. Before I used to coach a lot more and charge less, and now I coach less and charge more. It's really a simple formula.
There you go. If you're listening, raise your prices. Raise your prices. Increase your internal value and demand it externally.
Dude, Wonderful. That's right. And go see Frankie. Go to his retreat so you can, like, you know, gain way more confidence.
Got the shameless plug over here. Is she this way or this way? That way. No, this way.
I think so. I don't know
Listen to what she said.
I'm like down here on your screen.
So let me ask you I just personally experienced is, for me, it was always an afterthought in business, was about being happy. And
Yes.
I originally built businesses, firstly, that made me money and then made me not free. And I was miserable. And then finally I realized I needed a business that made me money and made me free. And then I did that, and it wasn't so much fun. And then I finally figured out how to put the three of them together, and then it made business finally fun again. It was all the things I wanted to be. How do you experience fulfillment? What does it mean to you when your clients get the outcomes that they're hoping to do, and you see people's lives change as a result of what you're doing? Like, how do you experience that?
Yeah, you know, as you were saying, fulfillment, this is what popped up. And I used to serve everyone that would come my way. So, you know, people have like psychological problems. I'm like, yeah, I can help you. I could coach you. But that was not very fulfilling. So as soon as I pin down my ideal soulmate client, that person comes to me now and I'm like, I need to work with you. We can do this. Like, we have stuff to do together. And as soon as I know who that person is, like when they get on a call with me, and they, you know, I can solve or help them solve their problems. I don't solve their problems. I help them solve their problems and find empowerment in what it is that they're doing. That's when the fulfillment piece comes in. Because before, like, I'd solve or I'd help people solve their problems, and it was just like, you know, more psychological type stuff, and they weren't ideal clients. And that's when I was like, is this coaching thing really for me? So I'm accepting everyone, and that's not what I want. So yeah, definitely fulfillment comes when, yes, I help my clients, but they have to be my ideal soulmate clients, as I like to put it. Then it becomes
Soulmate,
really,
that's deep. I actually find that's one of the mentalities that kind of we teach, that I love that you said that, because a lot of times people are so caught up in the fact that there's a check potentially on the other side or a credit card ready to go. They don't happen after it. And so I love that you're able to put that in perspective, because it makes you think about, like, if I had to work with this person for life, that the amount of that check seems smaller and smaller. So you have to really, really like that person and really, really want to help them and really want to be able to make a difference in their life, because you're like, I still saw this person in third. I love that you're able to think like that. For people who don't, like, what are some tips that helped you kind of acquire that mindset?
to find my ideal clients, you mean, or just to feel fulfilled?
Yeah, they can come to us. They don't have a clear picture of their ideal client. They're only really caught up in getting a check today so that they can put off their scarcity to tomorrow. And, you know, they're structuring their business in a way where it's doesn't work on their terms. But they're so, and you've obviously put this together, so you built a business that works for your life. And you got a very, very strong mindset where you have a lot of clarity around it. Like, how are you able to suggestions for somebody listening to be able to do that for themselves?
Man, a lot of personal development work. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
You know the saying that goes, if you want a crash course in personal development, open yourself a business. I totally believe that saying. So really, I mean, there's so many different ways to begin with this, but all I have to say is that if you don't trust, like you try to control, like people that are in the corporate world try to control every outcome, as an entrepreneur, like that just won't work. Yeah. Especially in coaching or consulting, like trying to get clients and then, you know, having that scarcity mindset, like there aren't enough clients to go around, there's too much competition. Who's my ideal client? I won't find them. I won't ever find them. And then the more you get caught in this like negative circle of worry, the worse it gets. So like my biggest thing is really like to let go and just like be who you are. And then in doing that, you'll attract the right people. Yeah. takes a lot of confidence, and it takes a lot of personal development work, and like, you know, lots of internal stuff, which is what you did at this at your Mastermind. And that's why I say, like, you know, I'll talk to people and they'll be like, but I did all the personal development work. I did it all. Well, you know what? It never ends. Every time you up level, you have to do more and more and more. That's just the way it goes. So yeah, whoever has just done all the personal development work and now they want to look after their business, well, they have to continue doing like full parallel. So I would say, like, my biggest thing is knowing who I'm serving and then just letting go and allowing them to come into like my world, really. That makes sense. I know it's not practical.
Yeah, I mean, I find it funny because usually what we find is in any business, there's always people like looking for what's the one magic bullet, what's the secret, and there are certainly leverage points that can propel you faster. But usually what I find is it's more like 30 or 40 things, and it's 30 or 40 little things that when added together make a much bigger thing. And so people are only that your kind of most practical tip. I would define it as hard work, which is reading and studying and learning and doing stuff on your own until you have that fully integrated and it's just a part of who you are. So since you were at our last Mastermind, let's do a little shameless plug. Can you just share like a little bit of what your experience is so anybody who hasn't been to one can kind of get an inside look or whatever you took away from it? If it's horrible, by the way, I'm totally editing you.
Except for the people that are watching live now. Hi, guys. So, okay, yeah, definitely. I'm happy to share the experience, which it was an experience, really, because I went there with my other business partner who was like, hey, let's go to Mastermind. And I was like, okay, I'll just tag along. And I was like, this is super cool. So I met Frankie. I had never seen anything like of this nature, actually. I've never been to like such a, like, how can you say, I guess it was like a really intimate mastermind where there were people there that I could connect with and jive with, and people that you attract are really freaking cool. They're just like you just want to get to know them. I guess because, you know, you're really cool. So when I was there, I didn't know what to expect. It's kind of like my sales calls, right? Like I had zero expectations, and what came out of it was there was like, you know, so much teaching, so many golden nuggets when it comes to building your business and, you know, gaining clarity in your business, and then actually undertaking the steps that you do to grow your business. So you had us do a webinar, and you're like kicking your ass and doing a webinar, and like, you know, we just did it on the spot. And then what I like to say is that you also bring a spiritual side to business that is not one that I had ever seen before or had ever witnessed. And I think that is really what like sealed the deal right there. I was like, man, this guy can do this. Like anything is possible. It was really, really cool. So I highly recommend that. If you haven't been, go. Like, don't even think about it. Just go, and your business will like blow up. It's just like you just like go and like be part of like Frankie's energy, and you don't even have to learn anything. You just go and like hang out with you. And
so you, the non-bragger, by the way, like, you know, purely from like just a monetary point, when you did the $12,000 phone call, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were planning on charging less before we did the mastermind, and then you were like, "Nah, I'm up level. Let's go for more." Is that the case? Yeah,
totally. Yeah. And can I just tell you another thing that you're gonna love? Is that
sure.
I had a couple sales calls after that, which all of them I closed, by the way, and I could see when they were like about to say, "Oh, you know what? No, forget it completely." But I like pulled them back in, and I was like, wait a second, let's talk about this. And it just became a great conversation. So I really see sales as like having a deep conversation with somebody. And what happened is that in these conversations, I actually like sold down, and then I sold back up again. So I went from like 1,500. I was like, okay, could you do 1,500? And then they, like, I sold them back up to 6,000 package or whatever it was. But I wouldn't have done that before, like, had I not been to the mastermind. So it's really all about your energy and your presence. I think it's awesome.
I think we just had a crack of jokes. There were a couple times you had to cover your ears for the dirty jokes I was making, though. So thank you for being a good sport about that.
Yeah, but you know what, Frankie? Like, I come from a family of 4 brothers, so I can handle it. I can handle anything.
So that's not the first time in a mastermind meeting?
It was not the first dirty joke I heard. Like Gwen.
What's your secret, Frankie? Oh, it's definitely the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tit fuck method. We actually did sex with. I don't know if you stepped outside, but we did have the tit fuck method.
No, I was not there when you said that.
Well, thank God for that. Thank God you were out closing calls during that magic. So
awesome.
One of the other kind of pillars that's, to me, kind of underlines this that I don't really tout in the group, because a bunch of entrepreneurs usually just want to make a bunch of money. It's, your health. And I found really, really interesting about you is, you know, as I'm providing food for everybody, I'm thinking, let's just get junk food and, you know, whatever, quick and easy, egg rolls and chicken wings and, I don't know, a bunch of fried stuff everybody can snack on. And you were like, because I don't eat like that personally. And so the second day I made sure to bring much healthier options. Can you just talk a little bit about what you do to kind of keep your body in order so that
Sure.
you're able to do your entrepreneurial journey? Because not discussed, but if you're really sick or unhealthy, you're probably not making a lot of money.
Yeah, because you're looking after your health or nursing your way back to health. I love that question, because I sometimes I feel like I should be a health coach. So I actually do intermittent fasting. Mm-hmm. So for those of you who don't know what that is, so I'll stop eating at 7 p.m. at night, and then I'll eat the next day anywhere between 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. And the reason why I do that is not because, like, you know, I want to lose weight or anything. I actually don't have much more weight to lose, but it's because of the energy that I get from not eating. So before, I used to procrastinate and be like, what can I eat in my pantry? I mean, I work from home, right? So I'd eat, you know, cookies, and stuff like that. And then I just get really tired and drink more coffee. And that was not the way to go. So now I'll eat really healthy when I break my fast, and I do it every day. And my body's gotten so used to it. I've been doing that for like 4 months. My body's gotten so used to it that when I do eat in the morning, it's like, whoa, what's going on? I can feel like, you know, my energy level goes down and all that. So like right now it's like almost 1 o'clock Eastern, and I'm not hungry yet. I'll get hungry probably in like the next hour or so, but I'm good. And if I ever do, like, I'll drink a smoothie or something. Yeah, but that's pretty much how I look after myself, and I exercise daily, which is super important. So, you know, I'm training for a triathlon. Yep. That's fun. So that's what I do.
You tame the hunger beast. Good for you, girl. That's not easy. So I guess that's probably right about time here. So if somebody is interested in learning from you and your magic mojo and how you're able to own your power and collect a $12,000 sale and not even brag about it, like, come on now. What's the best way for them to learn more about you? Or
so you can go to I have a website. It's actually a landing page where you can connect with me on my calendar.
We can post a link below if you want.
What? Yeah.
We can post a link in the comments.
Cool. So it's my name. So www.leahlaprise.com. And yeah, you could go check that out. And if you can't find the time to ever talk to me, because I limit my calendar because, you know, I set all those boundaries, just reach out to me on Facebook. I'm always on social media. I think I dream of social media in my sleep too.
Yeah, and if you're not connected with Leah already, she's in this group. So look up the members. She's there. He's a party
Cool.
animal who eats vegetables or doesn't eat at all and makes big deals.
I actually eat a lot when I do, but yeah.
Thank you for not being present when we discussed the tit fuck method.
Yeah, thank you for not discussing it in front of me, except when we're on the live stream.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So thank you again for doing this, because I know you're super awesome, and I know you have very, very strong boundaries. So you didn't do
I
this
actually have a
for just
coaching call now. I actually have a coaching call with with Mr. P.
So we're gonna release you into your freedom and go rock that. So
All right, thanks, Frankie. That was fun.
I don't think I actually ended it.
No.